Hi, Flosstube friends. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I know I've had a few new subscribers in the last little while. Welcome. I'm glad you decided to stop by and check out what I've been working on. If you're a returning subscriber or viewer, thanks for coming back because it's always fun to catch up and have a little visit. So this is my wrap up for the month of March, and I wanted to start out by talking about the retreat that I just went to. If you watched my last video, I mentioned that I was going to be going to a retreat. The retreat was hosted by Jenny McStitcher here on Flosstube and on Instagram, and it was held at a little retreat center kind of out in the woods, probably about a 2-hour drive from where I live, so not too bad for me to drive there. And it was a wonderful weekend. Sorry about that. My daughter just got home from work. So just had a wonderful time. The surroundings at this retreat center were just beautiful. There was like trees all around, and there's like little lake, large pond kind of thing. And the facilities were really nice. The room that we used to stitch in was quite large and had windows like on 2 of the walls around the room, and so there's lots of light during the day, but even at night, the overhead lighting was like really, really good. A lot of people didn't even need to use a light for their stitching because you could see quite well. So, and I think one of my favorite things was the food was amazing. They had somebody that lived there on site, and she did all of our cooking for us. Other than Friday night, we brought food for a potluck, but she did our breakfast, lunch, and dinner for the rest of the days, and nothing to complain about. Nothing. Like, the food was just amazing. It was just so nice just to, stitch all afternoon and then have somebody call you to say supper was ready. Like, it was just, I can't say enough good stuff about it. And met some really nice people. There was only 12 of us, so it was a really nice size. If it was somebody's first retreat or somebody like me that hasn't been to very many retreats, it was just a really nice size group of people. Allowed us to get to know each other quite well. And just a really fun group of people to hang out with and stitch with. So we did get a few goodies at the retreat, so I just wanted to share a little bit about that with you before I do go ahead and share my stitching. So one of the girls that came, her name was Cassandra. She gave us all these little project bags, and inside these there was a pattern that she had gotten for us, designed for us. Hidden Stitchers Cross Stitch Retreat, and she even gave us like all the floss that we needed on these cute little thread drops, and she gave us a needle and a little needle minder. So that was really fun. Thanks, Cassandra. That was really a really sweet gift to get. The organizer, Jenny, also had commissioned me to make project bags for everybody. So we sort of chose a pattern, fabric line, and then I made sort of 3 variations, but this is one of the variations. So the fabric line is called Sweater Weather. So it just has these really cute dachshunds and sweaters. So that was one of the patterns. Another one, this is the one I got at the retreat. There's these guys on the outside, and then this mushroomy fabric on the inside. And then there's one other one that the fabric on the outside was a repeat of this blue, but it was a black fabric. So that was fun. So everybody got a little project bag from Jenny. And then in the project bag, she put a lot of different little goodies. One of the things she gave everybody was like a little spiral bound book. And then the one night we just had fun and we did decoupage. She bought some really nice scrapbook papers and just told us to go to town and do whatever we wanted to, and we decoupaged them, and then they dried overnight, and we have a nice little journal that we can keep notes in or do whatever we want with. So that was really fun. And then there's a few other little goodies that she tucked in there as well. Jenny also had a pattern designed for us, and this does look quite a lot like the stone house where we stayed. I stayed in this room up here. But yeah, so that's a really nice memento from the weekend as well. So that was great. Thank you. Thank you for that, Jenny, for all the little surprises and all the little goodies and the extracurricular activities. So like a lot of retreats, we decided we were going to do a smalls exchange. And I think pretty much everybody participated. So for the small that I received mine from Shannon, and Shannon had stitched this really adorable little, I meant to look it up, Shannon. Is it Pine Mountain Designs? I'll try and put it like down underneath who the designer is. But I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, Shannon, but I believe it sort of comes with this little cushion, and you just stitch it and then you tuck it in here. So it's a really nice, quick, easy finish. And I just really like the colors and the teacups and this really cute cupcake bun. And these are Shannon's little tiny initials that she puts here. So she signs all of her cross stitch like that, which I think is amazing. I'm going to see if I can figure out how to do that with my initials. But so that's what I got for my smalls exchange. And it also came with a box of tea, a nice stash of tea to drink with my little cushion, which is so squishy. It's very, very nice. Thank you for that, Shannon. So then there was my small that I made that Jenny actually got. So I will put a picture of what it looked like when it was finished here so that you can see it. I included a little pair of scissors in mine, and I made a little sort of thread catcher cover thing just to tuck the scissors in. So, and then another attendee made little pin cushions for everybody. So Wendy, I'll put her name down here. Wendy made these adorable, and I don't know this fabric line. Wendy could tell you for sure, but so they all had these little ladies on them, all different sort of styles, and then Wendy sort of did different things. So in this one, she appliqued this little felt hat, and this little flower is actually a pin, which is adorable. And then other ones she kind of like did like their dress or some overalls, what they were wearing down here, but she did a little bit of applique on each one. And so I picked one of the larger ones, but she actually had some that were a little bit smaller, so probably about that size. And she actually put a magnet on them. So if people used a stand to stitch, then they could just put the pin cushion, just attach it right to the stand and use it to put your needle in between threads and things. So I just thought those were adorable too. So that was a really sweet treat as well. So thank you for that, Wendy. So yeah, it was just, I can't wait to do it again. And in fact, we're planning not only to make it an annual retreat if we can, we're actually going to try and go again this fall and then do it annually from there, because March isn't a great time to meet with weather and stuff like that. So we're hoping to make it an annual fall thing, but we didn't want to wait a year and a half, so we're going to go again this fall. So I'm looking forward to attending again and hanging out with all those people again. Although I'm very lucky because several of them are also going to Stitch North this coming weekend, so I'll get to see them again then. So hi guys, can't wait to see you. So I think that was most of everything I wanted to say about the retreat. I don't think I forgot anything else. If you have any questions about that, just ask me down below in the comments section. So let's jump ahead and talk a little bit about my stitching. So the statistics for this past month, I worked on 7 projects. I actually had 3 new starts. I know I wasn't supposed to be doing new starts, but you know, I had a retreat and I had to have at least 1, maybe 2 new starts. I did finish 2 projects this month, and I fully finished 1 of those. So let's start with my focus project for the month of March. So what I've been doing, if you're new here, is every month I usually have 2 focus projects that I work on during the week, and then I spin my whip wheel and work on a random whip every weekend. And my primary focus project is always going to be my oldest whip, and it's going to stay my primary focus project until it's finished. So I'm happy to report that I did finish my Northwind stocking, which I'll show you in a little bit. That was my oldest whip, and it was my primary focus project for January and February. and I did manage to finish it, which is exciting because I've had it on the go for over 5 years, I think. So I picked my next oldest whip, which actually is a series that I've been working on called The Joyful World Sal, and it's by Snowflower Diaries. If you join her Facebook group, you can actually get all these patterns for free, and it's a monthly series. And I've completed several of the months, which I'll show you at a later date, but I just started this as my primary focus project, and the month I'm working on right now is August. So yeah, I think I have 4 months left to do. So I'm going to put a picture up here of what August will look like when it's finished. You'll notice that it has a dog in it. I'm not keen on that dog, and I actually stitched a similar but different dog in February to commemorate my dog that looked a little bit like that had passed away, and her birthday was in February. So I didn't want to do another black and white dog. So I went to Snowflower Diaries Etsy shop and purchased this pattern. I'll put a picture of it here. And I'm going to try and pull out, I think I'd like to do the larger sheep and the bunny and put those in where the dog is, if I can make it work. So, oh, there's my cat. That's Piper back there. So I've only got a little bit done on this because I haven't been doing maybe as much stitching as I'd like to be, but that's what I've got. So I've got the whole border done and the bottom part, the grass there. So, but these do stitch up pretty quick if you can just dedicate a little bit of time to them. So I'm looking forward to finishing that one and moving on to another. So that series, so I've got 4 more months, that's going to stay as my primary focus project until that series is completed. So then my secondary focus project is the one that I've been working on for the month of March, and then in April I will pick a different secondary focus project. So the one that I picked for this month is the Crosswing Collections Chipping Sparrow, the fob. So I've already stitched the nest, which is here. So it's stitched, it's a biscore nest, they call it. So it's a biscornu. So you stitch it in that, it looks like a nest. And if you're not familiar with these, there's quite a series of these patterns of bird's nest now. The eggs are actually stitched 1 over 1. If you can see that. And I have to admit, that was a challenge. That was the first time I've ever done 1 over 1. And I think it was a challenge for me because there were so many different shades of blue. It started to get hard to tell where you'd done a stitch and where you hadn't and which one it was. So I think I was getting lost in the pattern a little bit. So, but I persevered and I finished it. And I wasn't sure I'd ever do 1 over 1 again, but now I'm doing the Sparrow. And the Sparrow is 1 over 1. So I've already stitched the back part of the fob, so that's going to be the back, and that's 2 over 2. But here's the front part. So the border is 2 over 2, but the little bird itself is 1 over 1. But this seems to be going a little bit better. I don't know if it's because I knew what to expect. I don't know if it's because it's square and not all those odd little ovals that I was trying to stitch in the middle of the nest. But it's not going too bad. And again, this shouldn't take me too long to finish. I just need to dedicate a little bit of time to sit down and do it. So I would really like to try and finish this before the end of the month, so that it's done and I can move on to a new project, not having this little wee bit of this left to do. So we'll see how that goes. So then I just had a couple of weekend projects that I did. So one of the first ones was my Christmas village. I don't mind the cat. She likes, like most cats, likes to knock things down. So there's some papers over there she thinks needs to maybe be on the floor. But enjoy the sideshow. So one of my weekend projects was Christmas Village by Sarah Garamani. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correct. I apologize. I'd say that wrong. That's a very small picture. I'm sorry. It's hard to see, but you get the general idea. So I just did a little bit of work on this, and I'll put a picture of where it was the last time you would have seen it up here. And here's where I am now. So I've just done that little bit down there with the Santa and the presents. Basically, I've just done the reindeer and the snow, I think, since you saw it last, because I did work on it not that long ago. But there's the whole thing. This is a really fun project to work on. I really like the color palette. It's fun watching the little village come together. Oh yeah, so that's Christmas Village. One of my other weekend ones was, again, the weekend that I was at the retreat, and I did give myself, actually did 3 new starts at the retreat. So the first one that I did is called Daisies, and I'll put a picture of what it's going to look like here when it's done. And that's the cat. I do apologize. I haven't been saying what fabrics or what threads or anything like that. So if you have any questions about anything, just ask down below. But so this one is an Etsy shop. The designer's called Counting the Stars, and I'll link her shop down below. And I'm stitching this on 16 count Aida with the called for DMC. And I decided I just wanted to go across the whole top. So that's basically just, I think, a couple of rows all the way across. This is a case of one of these, you look at one of these patterns and you think it's just small. But when you actually stitch it, it's quite large. I was going to do it on 18 count, but it's going to fit on 16 count. It's going to finish out almost 12 by 12 inches, and I want to get a 12 by 12 frame for it. So, but that's all I have of that. Just a little bit of the sky and the clouds up there. But that's just sort of a happy, summery kind of image that I just really liked, and I look forward to working on it some more. My second start for the weekend is by Silver Creek Samplers. I believe this is called Eye on the Sparrow. So if you can't read that, it says, "Do not worry, birds do not sow or reap, yet the Lord God feeds them." And I just thought that little bird was quite cute. So I'm stitching this on 32 count Picture This Plus Legacy with the called for DMC. And that's how much I've gotten done so far. So that, I believe, is all of my works in progress that I have to show you. So I did have 2 finishes. One of those, which is also my full finish, is my small 4-stitch north. So I've taken some pictures and I'll put those in my next video. But maybe I'll give you a little sneak peek here. So here's a little sneak peek. Okay, but that's all you get. So you gotta wait till the next video, and then I'll show you some better close-up pictures of it. So my other finish, drum roll, this is a big one, was the Northwind Stocking. It's a Dimensions Gold kit. I started it in February of 2018, and I finished it on March 2nd of 2022. It's done on 18 count white Aida with the threads from the kit. My cat thinks this might be a good place to sit. And here we go. Oh, no. I actually took pictures as I went along with the back stitching, because I think I'll put a picture of where it was the last time you saw it. And I think I did have a couple of colors of back stitching done, but there's about 7 different colors of back stitching. So I took photos as I completed each color. I might have missed one of them, but so I'm going to put that little photo montage so you can watch the progression. I'm going to insert that here. Okay, and so here it is in real life. Well, real life, kind of, sort of. So here we go. There it is. Isn't it amazing what backstitching does? Holy cow. Especially like his coat with all the brown backstitching just makes like so much more depth. It's just incredible. So it's not fully finished yet. I have a couple of more stockings that I'm working on, and I might just wait and finish all 3 of them, finish the stitching all 3 of them, and then figure out what tutorial I'm going to use and how I'm going to finish all 3 of them. And then that will be a stocking for everybody in my family, because I already made one for my oldest daughter when she was an infant. So yeah, so those are my finishes. And you saw a sneak peek of my FFO, and I'll show you more of that the next time. So I don't have a future start for you this month. Just, again, I've been busy with stuff prepping for Stitch North and finishing up some custom orders that I just haven't taken the time to kit up something as a future start. So stay tuned. I've got some other things I can show you coming down the road. So as far as my plans go, the voting is still open if you want to weigh in. For the month of May, I am going to participate in Stitch Mania. And if you're new or unfamiliar, Stitch Mania was started back in 2015 by a couple of the original Flosstubers. And they sort of set up that they were going to do a bunch of new starts. So I think in 2015 they did 15 new starts the first 15 days of May. And over the years, a lot of people have joined in and participated, and a lot of people have sort of made it their own and, you know, do their own thing. Some people do Christmas ornaments. Some people just do 1 start a week. But yeah, so there's no rules. You can do whatever you want. And last year I did what I called Merry Mania. Here comes my cat. Piper. That's not the best place to sit. Thank you. Oops. Oh, what do we do? Are we okay? Okay. So last year I did Merry Mania, and I worked on all of my Christmas whips, and I threw in a couple of new starts. This year, because sort of my focus of the year is trying to get things done, especially things that have been sitting around and languishing for a while. So this year I'm going to do Monogamania, where I'm going to work on one project all month. I am going to break it up a little bit, and on the weekends probably spin my whip wheel and do a random whip for a weekend. But then for the whole week, I'm going to just work on one project. So a couple of videos ago, I'd asked people if they wanted to vote for one of my whips after I did my whip parade. You know, if there's one they wanted to see more work on, or, you know, it's just their favorite one that they wanted to see, you know, to go ahead and let me know and cast a vote for that particular project. And what I'm going to do is put all of those votes on a decision wheel, and in my next video I will show you which one the wheel has picked to be the one that I'll work on for the month of May. So if that's something that interests you, if you go back, you'll see the video that's marked my whip parade. You can watch that if you want and see all the whips have in progress, although I have a couple of newer ones now that you just saw. But yeah, if there's something in particular that strikes your fancy or something you'd like to see more progress on, then feel free to leave a comment down below, and I'll add your vote to the current status, and we'll see which one comes up. Otherwise, for the rest of this month, I'm going to keep working. I'm probably going to just work on that scissor fob for the next couple of days before I head to Stitch North, and try and get it finished. And then I am going to take my Snowflower Diaries with me to work on at the retreat. So yeah, so that's the other thing I guess I should mention my plans. I'm heading out to Stitch North, which is the retreat happening in Brampton, Ontario, which again is about 2.5 hours from my home. That is hosted by Caroline from Off the Grid Needle Arts. And yeah, so that's just a couple of days and I'm heading down there. So I can tell you about that retreat in my next video. But I'm really excited about heading there. And I'm hoping that some of you, you know, if you're somebody that's watching and you're heading to Stitch North, say hi in the comments down below. And then maybe we will run into each other at the retreat. And that'll be fun. Because that's what it's all about, right? Is meeting new Stitchers and hanging out with people that, you know, are passionate about the same thing you're passionate about. So, all kinds of fun. Can't wait. So other couple of quick segments that I usually tack on at the end here. That's basically all for the stitching. So if it was just the stitching you came to see, then that's fine. Thank you so much for coming by. If you're interested in things that I sell in my Etsy shop, stick around. Or I'll sometimes do a craft from the past. So if you want to, if you're curious about that, then stick around. So I was just going to quickly show you from a shop update. Again, I've been really busy doing a lot of sewing, a lot of custom orders, but I did manage to make up a couple of portfolios. And if you've watched any of my videos from the past, I have shown these before, but I just thought it would be fun to quickly show you the ones that I had made recently. So this was an idea that came through a discussion with fellow stitchers at a stitch day back at the Hamilton Stitch In prior to COVID. And they had been sort of talking about double project bags, I guess, and what worked and what didn't work sort of things. So they had suggested I think about trying to make something like that. So I did, and I wanted to kind of come up with something, obviously something that's practical and useful, but also something that's a little bit unique, because I figured there's lots of great sewers out there, lots of great people that make beautiful bags, and I didn't want to just repeat what other people were doing, so I wanted to try to find something unique, and this is what I kind of came up with. So this is what I'm calling my project bag portfolio. So this is the outside. So there's two handles, the handles are padded, and then this is a covered button, and there's a little elastic band that closes it, so that holds it together if you had a bunch of stuff in there. This one's empty, so and then inside basically you have two project bags, and these are the size of a standard project bag, so there's just one at each end. And then you can see my unique twist is this zipper that's in the middle, and the idea being I make, or I can custom make, inserts that actually will zip in here. So if you wanted a third project bag that you could take in and out, that could be made. Or if you want a floss organizer, whether it be for bobbinated floss or thread drop floss, that type of thing, then I can make an insert like that to zip into the middle of that. And I do have a little bit of that in my Etsy shop. Again, not a ton of stock right now, but you certainly can go and check it out. Or if you have questions about that, just ask me down below. So that was one with that fun camping fabric. And then I have this one with this really pretty, I keep thinking of these as sunflowers, but I know they're not sunflowers, or they're not a traditional sunflower anyway, but they remind me of sunflowers because of the colors. And I love this yellow and mustard and gray together. It's really pretty. There's the little covered button. And there's the fabric on the inside. So yeah, so I have one of these that I've made for myself. That was my prototype, and I took it to the retreat I was at the beginning of the month, and I'm going to be taking it to Stitch North with me. So yeah, if you're at Stitch North and you want to see one up close, come find me. I can show you the one that I have. So that's just a little sneak peek into my Etsy shop. And then the last segment that I usually do is a craft from the past. And again, I keep saying I'm running out of things to show, so I'm kind of down mostly to scrapbooking, card making type of stuff, unless I stumble across something I forgot that I had. So I may have to phase this segment out or come up with something different. But yeah, so what I thought I'd show you today, quite a number of years ago, I had decided to make gifts for my immediate family, so like my mom, my sister, my brother. And it was after I had been to a scrapbooking conference, and there had been a class there where they sort of taught a little bit about this theme, and basically the theme was simple joys. So simple things, you know, in life that bring you joy. And I know that the instructor had shown a photo, I think of some dandelions in a little glass of water that her son had picked for her and brought her, you know, these flowers, Mommy. And that was just a really simple little thing, but it made her smile and brought her joy. And it sort of taught us to focus on, yeah, those little tiny things that might not be big, but that's where your true joy might come from. So I had asked my mom, my sister, my brother, to give me a list of 10 simple things that made them happy, that brought them joy. So this book is my mom's. My mom has passed away, so I have kept the book that I made for her, and I just thought I would quickly show you. So it's just a little 6x6 scrapbook, and so I just did like a little title page, and everybody had a color theme. So, and I just sort of did a little introduction about sort of what this book was about. So one of the things she said was a smile from Rebecca and Claudia. So those are my daughters when they were quite little. They are now like 24 and 28. A loving hug from family and church friends. When a plan comes together. And that's actually me on my wedding day, my mom. An answer to prayer for the health of family and friends. And that's both my daughters. They were both premature, and my mom was a huge support and a prayer warrior through those difficult early days with both of them as preemies. Thursday lunch with Chris and Carrie, because we often, whenever we could, my sister and I would get together with my mom for lunch on a Thursday, because I think I had Thursdays off, so that was often fun. Reading a good book. My mom loves to read, but I just thought this was a funny picture to use for that. That was Rebecca when she was little, sitting on the potty, not going to the potty, just sitting on the potty with the lid closed because it made a handy chair, looking at a book. And this is chocolate or any good dessert. And that is a picture from our local chocolate shop, I guess, called Mill Creek Chocolates. Family get-togethers. And again, I use these paper doll cutouts. So, do you know which one of those is me? This is me here. So this is my mom. This is my dad. They've both passed away. This is my husband because he's a little bit bald. This is Claudia because she was quite blonde when she was little. This is Rebecca because she has quite wavy hair. That was my sister because she had long hair. I'm trying to think who this is. Isn't that silly? Oh, yeah. So this would be my brother, I think, and his wife. Thank you for House and Home. So that's my parents' house. That's the house that I grew up in. Oh. And then God's Mercy and Grace. And that's the cross on the church where my mom used to attend. So. And then I gave them a little envelope with some pieces of paper if there was other little things they wanted to jot down that brought them joy that they could tuck in there. So, and then I just put a little note in the back to them. But, so yeah, a little book of simple joys. Anyway, that is everything for today. Thank you again, everybody, for stopping by. I look forward to giving you a follow-up next month and letting you know how Stitch North went. But until then, everybody take care. Bye.